Okay, we are live. Can you talk, Natasha? Let's see if that pulls it up.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, just say testing, testing. Let's see if it pulls up your
Testing,
video.
testing.
There she is. All right, it's working. Let me just exit out of all of these extra tabs so I can see comments. Okay, let's dive into this. Anyone watching live, we've got a couple people. I think we have one right now, but we will have more coming on. And if you're watching this recording, we're going to keep it up on the YouTube channel. The reason I'm doing this Facebook Live tonight is obviously to give as much value as I can to everyone watching, but specifically to my guest host here, Natasha. How are you, Natasha?
I'm doing great.
Well, thank you for being with us here. Can you do a quick introduction? Tell us where you're from and your experience with real estate.
Yeah, I'm from all over the place, but I'm currently living in Wilmore, Kentucky.
Got it.
Yeah, I only started doing wholesaling in September last year and joined TCP at the end of September. And
Okay.
I've closed 2 deals and I'm in the middle of closing a 3rd one.
Beautiful. So for those that have zero real estate experience, Natasha said she's newer to wholesaling. So wholesaling is the art of finding deeply discounted properties, getting those properties under contract, and selling that purchase contract to an investor that's going to close on it, and she gets an assignment fee. So you've done a couple deals. How much did you make on your first and second deal, if you don't mind sharing?
Well, I don't. It's a little embarrassing because I was trying to JV with a rehabber since I didn't know anything.
Yeah. So you're using some lingo, okay? So when you, I want people to understand they have zero experience, right? So when you say you tried to JV with a flipper, what that means is you tried to partner with a flipper instead of just selling the purchase contract to him, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So tell me what happened there.
Well, he was out of town, so my husband and I went to see the house, took some pictures, and called and talked to him about it over the phone. He's like, "Oh yeah, it's a great deal. You know, get it straight away." And so we did. But then when he went to see it later, he's like, "Yeah, that's not such a great deal. I'm getting super scared. We got stuck in this." So in the end, he only gave me $500 and kept it as a rehab.
Right. And probably made a lot of money, right?
Yeah, he hasn't told me how much he made, but
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Well, there is a huge tip. So I actually did a YouTube video today. It's not uploaded live, but I talk about our disposition process, which means the process of getting that contract and selling it to your cash buyer so you can get the highest possible price, right? So you got stuck with a cash buyer that actually kind of took advantage of the situation, and you
yeah.
probably would have made quite a bit more. How much was the property worth fixed up? Did you have any idea?
Well, we found out later that it was kind of the worst part of town where a lot of buyers don't want to buy. So I was estimating 80,000, but that might have been a little high. We locked it up for 27,000.
You had it at what?
27,000.
27. Yeah. So you definitely should have made more than $500. At least 5,000, you know what I mean?
I know.
So, but that's okay. Right. Cause the wonderful thing, Natasha, one of the things I love about you, and the reason I said, Natasha, let's jump on a call, is because you wanted some help and you were struggling, but you're willing to struggle forward, right?
Yeah.
You're willing to make mistakes, and you say things like, well, I feel kind of silly because I messed up here, but you shouldn't be, right? Society teaches us all the way from traditional education to religion to everything that happens around us with organized groups, is that mistakes are terrible. You can't make mistakes. Mistakes, you get F's on tests. Mistakes, you go to hell, right?
Yeah.
And so mistakes actually help us grow. Mistakes mean that we're pushing forward and we're trying to progress in some way. And so I love that you're making these mistakes and seeing these, these differences that could have been done in the past, but now you're not going to make those same mistakes in the future. So my hat's off to you, props to you. Don't beat yourself up. Okay.
Okay.
So that's great. So that's the first deal. Tell us about the second deal, because there's some great gold nuggets already in that first deal. So tell us about your second deal.
Yeah, the second deal went better. I forget the exact price we locked it up for, but we got an assignment fee of $10,000. And then, once the closing costs were out, we split it in half and I made $4,900 on that one.
$4,900.
So that was good. And we found, for me, this was a learning experience. I forced myself to go to the real estate investors Christmas party, which was hugely uncomfortable for me to do. But we found the buyer there, and that was fairly quick and smooth.
Wonderful. So you were networking with your cash buyers. So how many cash buyers do you have on your list right now?
I've got about 300 to 400 that have communicated with me in some way and said, yes, send me all kinds of whatever you get, just send it to me. And then I've got about 300 others listed I haven't yet made contact with.
Awesome. So you have access to the newer bonus, right? The 6 steps to wholesaling, right?
Mm-hmm.
And in there, I go into depth on the process of, once you have the contract, how to sell that purchase contract and interact with your cash buyers. I would love it if you would use that process on this next deal that you said you're close on. Okay.
Okay.
And I want to know how much better that is for you and how much smoother it is for getting, the biggest assignment possible. Okay.
Okay.
Do you need any help on that deal that you've got that you're working right now? What's the situation there? I didn't know you had that deal.
It's a huge mess. It's the biggest thing.
That means big assignment, right?
Yeah. The biggest thing it's taught me is that I probably don't want to work with that rehabber anymore. It's been kind of tricky because he's also my pastor. So I learned I probably shouldn't partner with my pastor in business. It just gets really awkward when there are disagreements.
Just take it out of your tithing.
Yeah. Like I had okay, so just to be super honest and to create value for people and save them the pain I went through. I had it locked up for 1.4 with the buyer on the line that offered me 1.41 million. And we were all good to go. And I said, it's a pretty big deal. We probably need to use a double closing. But the business partner rehabber guy said, yeah, I don't know what that is. I don't think we should do that. Let's just do an assignment fee. That worked before. So I went ahead and did that. And then the cash buyer saw it and he's like, what in the world? $200,000. That's crazy. So he backed out and also tried to go behind my back and work with the seller to let the deal expire so he could get it at a lot less.
Right. And do you have any other cash buyers potentially lined up?
Oh yeah, I did. Those also fell through for different reasons that I really had no control over, but there were still other people I could have called, but my rehabber had a friend that he wanted to sell it to, but because they were friends, he wanted to give him a great deal. So he told me that he was going to cut the assignment fee in half.
Okay, guys, I want you to explain what's happening here. So if you are new to this business, okay, we use some lingo and we're talking about a deal. I'm going to break this deal down as simple as I possibly can. Okay, so Natasha found a big deal, right? $1.1 million was the purchase price, right? I assume this is an apartment complex.
Townhomes, 1.2 million for 21 townhomes.
Okay, 21 unit deal, okay? $1 million, she has the contract. Do you have $1 million to buy the property?
No.
No, Natasha doesn't. Guess what? I probably wouldn't want to take on a deal that big either. And I've been doing this for years, right? But let's say you find a deeply discounted property. She has this discounted property, but she found someone else that would pay $1,200,000 for that deal, right?
No, they were going to pay 1.41.
Oh, geez. So they were going to pay $1,400,000. Okay, so that means Natasha could have made $400,000 on the deal.
200,000.
Why is it 2, not 4?
I locked it for 1.2.
Okay, so you ended up getting it for 1.2. Okay, so she was going to make $200,000 just selling the purchase contract. So in this industry, one of the common practices, if it's a large assignment fee, right, you're going to make a lot of money on the deal. The best practice is to do what's called a double closing, where you get private money lined up. And it's very easy to get private money when you already have a buyer lined up to close the same day that you're going to close on it. So, a big assignment fee is relative. That goes to whoever the investor is. Big for me, anything over $50,000, I like to double close. And I've double closed as low as $10,000. It's just preference, right? But I can guarantee you, if I was going to make $200,000 on a deal, I would have double closed. But Natasha, that's why you have mentors, right? That's why you pay me to have mentors, so you can talk to me about these deals. You would have had the biggest assignment fee I've ever even heard of, right? And I'm sure there's other people out there that have done that, but the deal's not completely dead, right?
No, it's not dead. Praise God.
So you're going to work hard to find someone else and get a double close lined up, right? You'll be able to close and then immediately resell it. So what happened is, when she went to the title company, the end buyer saw how much she was going to make as an assignment fee. And he said, "Oh, that's not fair. How dare you make money, Natasha?" Which, in my case scenario, I would completely take him off my cash buyers list, right? He would never see another one of my deals. He would never get another dime from my business, because if it made sense to him at $1,200,000 or $1,400,000, doesn't matter. If it made sense for him at a higher price, he has a terrible mindset that, how dare Natasha make money by bringing me a deal? So you should never bring that buyer a deal ever again. It's such a frustrating thing that we have to deal with. It's kind of like the tuna fisherman goes out and catches tuna fish, right? He drives his boat to the dock, and someone goes, "Oh, I will take the fish, off of your boat with a little crane. We will clean the fish and package it and freeze it and ship it off to the canneries." Right? And we will make money to take it to the canneries. And then the canneries makes money by canning it and putting it on the shelves, right? So we're kind of like the people at the dock that buy it from the fishermen, right? We work our butts off to find all those fishermen and to get them to bring us those deals, and then we push it off to the canneries, right? And so it's almost like the fishermen or the canneries go, "Oh, how dare you make money by being in between on this deal?" It's a terrible mindset, and it might be something that you'll eventually deal with. So a double closing, there's another huge gold nuggets. There's tons of gold nuggets that we've already dove into, and it's not even the content that I wanted to talk about with you. So thank you for sharing those things with me, and make sure in the Facebook group you keep me posted and message me, and send me a message or even call me through Facebook Messenger. Natasha, you have my permission to do that in regards to this deal. I want to help you get this deal. Okay.
All right.
Life changing for you, right? Have you ever made $200,000 on a deal before?
Never.
Me neither. My biggest is like 180 something, right? But it took me like 6 years, of holding it as a rental and stuff.
Yeah.
So like finding a deal and moving the deal, 200 grand, that's so incredible. So guys and gals, there's so much potential out there and so much opportunity to make an absolute fortune. So it's just one of those hiccups, one of those learning curves, but like I said, it's progress, right? It's not perfection. We have mutual mentors that talk about that. Oh, thank you, sweetie. She brought my charger. I left it at work. I've been running like crazy today, and sorry I'm all sweaty. I squeaked in a workout before our call. All right. So the main reason I have Natasha on the call, let's dive into the main content now. Natasha, through the private Facebook group for just my students, reached out and asked for help. and wanted me to help her evaluate her numbers. And what I mean by numbers is how many postcards she sent, how many phone calls she's made, and how many leads she's had, and why she's not having better success, or there's some things that we can tweak. And so, I decided instead of just doing like a one-on-one call to help her, is doing this YouTube live so we can deep dive Natasha's business and problems and help her grow. And you guys can benefit from that as well. So I'm going to try and help more people with this conversation. So Natasha, thank you for being willing to open up and be completely transparent about your business and allowing other people to be blessed during this call. So Natasha shared her numbers in the private Facebook group. And that's the cool thing about the private Facebook group is there's so much value in there because people that are in there are actually working. They're actually doing the business. I do not let anyone in unless they're a student. So in there, you shared the numbers. What are, and then after I talked to you and asked you to prepare a few more things. So let's go through those. Have you prepared the numbers for me? Let me grab a pen and a paper. Do you have them?
Yes, the best I could.
Okay. So you actually inspired me to get a little bit more detailed numbers tracker or KPI sheet for our students, right?
Oh, great.
So that's actually something that I was working on today, and I'm hoping to upload into the course as an update maybe this week or next week.
Oh, that'll be awesome.
Yeah, it's going to be great. So let me grab a pen. Got it. Okay, so let's dive into it. Can you share those first numbers with me?
Yeah, so the first one you asked me was how many total properties have I added in Deal Machine? And the thing that was weird was the total that they have in there is 2,379. But when I went week by week and added them up, it's only 1,832. I have no idea why there's a difference.
I don't either. That's kind of odd. Maybe there's certain properties that they weren't able to pull data on. I don't know why that number would be that different. It's probably something to that effect.
Okay.
Guys, comment in the comment section if you know why they're different right there. But that's an interesting one. A number. That's cool. You've caught that. I've never noticed that before. So let's go with the higher number. Okay. So 2,379 properties. Over how much time did you tag those properties?
6 months.
Okay, so my students are responsible to have a weekly or a monthly goal, or a weekly goal of how many properties they want to add to that list. What's your weekly goal?
Well, when I was going through your coaching again the second time and you said 100, I think that's reasonable for me because as a homeschool mom and with my other responsibilities, I can get 100 to 150 if I'm in a decent neighborhood in an hour to an hour and a half. But depending on the week, sometimes I don't get out every day like I should. So
let's do this, Natasha. I want you to commit to a number. And if 100 is kind of a stretch, commit to 50, right? And so if you can do 100 in a week, maybe 1 week's going to be hectic. So do 100 1 week and not the next, right? Because I know you're a mom and a wife and you've got, other responsibilities.
Yeah.
And so the biggest thing is consistency. This business is a marketing business, right? And the product is real estate. So if we're not consistent with our marketing, we're not going to have consistent leads. If we don't have consistent leads, we don't have a business, right? Mm-hmm. So stay committed to that. That's key is consistency. So make sure you set that goal, have it on your wall, have it on your mirror. Don't forget it. Okay.
Okay.
So once we get off this call, think about it and make that goal and stay committed. Okay. So you've only added 2,379.
Yep.
And then what was the next number I asked you to get?
You asked me how many did I skip trace?
People that don't know what skip tracing is, once you export the list from the Deal Machine app, and you can use my discount code PIN, which will give you the tracking software free for 2 months. But once you export that list out of Deal Machine, it doesn't necessarily come with phone numbers. You can pay for phone numbers on Deal Machine, but it's way more expensive. We use batch skip tracing to get our phone numbers. And so skip tracing means she's paid to get phone numbers for those. So go ahead and tell me that number.
Yeah, this number is going to be low, but I'll tell you why in a second. It's 1,025. There were some gaps I couldn't find, and that's because when I started, I wasn't yet using Mojo and Deal Machine. And so my tracking was a mess. And also it was taking out all duplicate, like if an owner owned 5 different properties, it only skip traces them once. So
okay, so you were able to get phone numbers for 1,000. So basically half. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you asked me how many times I called them. Almost all of them are 3, except for my most recent list that I'm calling now. And I'm still on the first call cycle.
Okay, so you've called all of them 3 times. So on Mojo Dialer, which is a calling platform, you can call 3 people at one time, and you can put an edit system that it quits dialing or quits calling a certain phone number, a certain person, once you've attempted that phone number 3 times. And so I suggest up to 4 times, and it doesn't cost you any more to call more. I've done deals on 7 or 8 attempts before. And so it's not a bad thing. If you need something to do, if you need to call, you can call over 4 attempts. So that's great. You've had 3 attempts on all of them.
Can I ask you 2 questions?
Go ahead.
Can I ask you 2 questions while we're right here?
Yep.
One was, I'm still on the single line dialer. Is that bad?
Yeah, you're a third the efficiency. I know it's a little bit more money, and I know you're trying to be frugal, but yeah, triple line, like that's why we have it. I mean, it's single line dialer. You don't have to hand plug it in, right? But having 3 people getting called at one time, someone answers, you're on the phone and it's still ringing through. If they answer when you're on the phone, you can leave a recording that says, oh, hey, I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to call you right back. And it hangs up on them, right? Oh. And then as soon as you hang up with the person you're on the phone with, it immediately calls that other person, and they answer, be like, oh, I'm so sorry about that. My phone's acting up. Anyways, yeah, I was calling, and then you continue with the script, right? So you can just be blowing through phone numbers. You'll be able to call through a list of 1,000 people in literally an hour or 2 with a triple line dialer.
Oh, wow.
Yes, it's insanely fast, right? And so we actually only cold call. Our team only cold calls at the highest productive hours, which is from really 8:30 in the morning until about 10:30 in the morning. And then again from about 3 or 4 in the afternoon till 8 o'clock at night. And so that's when our cold calling team is. So we have cold callers that come in the morning, every morning, and then they're allowed to go do errands, go to the gym, do their thing, and they can call in the evenings as much as they would like. So if they want to hit 40 hours, they got to call in the evenings. So there's
that brings up another interesting point then. In Kentucky, there's a law that we're not allowed to call before 10 o'clock. So Mojo won't even let me dial before 10.
Beautiful.
So should I be doing it in the evening?
Evenings, yes. Evenings are actually better than mornings, because think about it. People are coming home from work. A lot of the phone numbers you have are landlines. People don't necessarily want to answer their cell phones when they're at work. And so your mornings and evenings are best to call. And so you said something very interesting. Anything that I teach, anything that I say on this, every state has different regulations. So anything you do as far as marketing or real estate contracts or wholesaling, you need to make sure you're confirming and making sure you're legal with whatever business practices you're performing, right? I'm not an attorney. I can't give you rules and regulations for every state, because every state's a little different, right? So that's something I didn't know about Kentucky. So thank you for sharing that. That's cool. So you've called 3 times. So you've basically made 3,000 phone calls, which really is not that many. But let's go into the further numbers. So what are the next numbers I asked you to get?
You asked me how many were contacts.
Yep.
But I couldn't figure out how to separate out all my different lists without taking a whole nother day to do that. So I have 600 contacts, but that also includes the vacancy list.
Okay, so that's other lists you were calling as well. Do you know how many people? Let's add the vacancy list then, because that's going to skew my numbers. So do you have that? How many people are on your vacancy list?
I can't remember if I pulled it. I definitely could get you numbers for how many I called just from driving for dollars or contacted, but it would take, because I didn't know how to keep track of my numbers, it took me hours to figure all this out.
Yeah. So that's one of the reasons there's going to be an update to my course. And I love coaching because the more I coach, the more I perfect how to help you. Right. And so, when you shared your numbers with me, there was definitely some holes to be able to help you. So let's say you have 600 contacts. Do you know roughly how many appointments you've had?
Yes.
That was the next one, right? The next question.
It's 25, but those also may not all be driving for dollars, but I'm pretty sure a majority of them are.
Okay. So let me break down the numbers. She's added a little over 2,000 driving for dollars, properties to her list. She's called only 1,000 of those because that's the only one she got phone numbers for. She's called them all 3 times. Between the vacancy list she has that she's purchased, as well as the driving for dollars list, she's talked to 600 homeowners. Of those 600 homeowners, she's gone on 25 appointments. Some of them are driving for dollars, some are the other lists. We don't have those lists identified. That's why it's so important. You have all of these numbers broken down for every marketing channel. So if you're marketing to the driving for dollars list and the code violation and the eviction and the vacancy and the tax delinquent, you want to have all those numbers broken out separately. So you can know, listen, if I call 2,000 people on this list 4 times, I'm going to get this many appointments and this many contracts and make this much money. And I know it's going to cost me this much. This is my fixed cost for that. So I'm going to be this profitable, right? So that's the ultimate goal with these numbers, is to really analyze your business and analyze your success. And then once you really know your numbers, then you can hire someone to take your place. You can hire an acquisition manager, and you know that he needs more training or he needs to be fired because your numbers are plummeting, right? And it's the only thing that's changed in your system is the acquisition manager. So numbers are so essential to your business.
I don't know if it helps at all, but in Mojo, my total entries are 2,445. So the 600 contacts would be for all of those entries, but there's a good handful that don't have phone numbers and all that stuff too. So
right. So you've done 2 deals and you've got a third. Where did those 3 deals come from?
The 2 first ones that I've already closed came from a vacancy list.
2, okay.
And the third one was a driving for dollars. And
200,000 from driving for dollars. That one.
Yeah.
You would have had the record of the biggest deal of all my students, Natasha. No, you've got to close that deal. I'm gonna be your best friend, and I'm gonna push you to get that deal.
Okay.
You're gonna push Scott off his pedestal and take first place. I'm gonna have to do something cool, send you a trophy or something. Okay. Well, that's cool. So I want you to understand something. How much have you spent? Did I ask you that? How much you've spent on driving for dollars? How many hours of driving did it take you to add those properties?
Yeah, let me find it. How many hours of driving for dollars?
Yeah. What's your average pins per hour?
I don't know that.
Is it 100, roughly 50? I mean, these are rough numbers, obviously, because you don't have them dialed in.
If I'm in a good neighborhood, I can get 150 in an hour. Wow. But when I don't,
let's say max 20 hours of driving, right? 20, 25 hours max.
Yeah.
So 25 hours of driving. Okay. Because that's an expense that you got to kind of calculate for. You can hire someone to do that for you, or you can do it yourself, right? That's a $20 an hour job or so, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, and then the phone numbers, how much do you spend on that?
Okay, let me see. I put it over on the side. Sorry, I didn't have it organized very well. I didn't know we were good.
That's okay. I knew I was going to put you on the spot with a lot of things. It's okay.
The total that I spent in driving for dollars was $3,217.
So that was the total spent.
Yes.
And does that count mojo costs and everything else?
Yeah.
Okay.
And the gas, some of the gas and stuff like that.
Natasha, I want you to understand something. You told me that you were a little concerned about the profitability of your business and you were struggling with your finances. I totally get it. I get how frustrating it can be living on credit cards and just struggling and wanting success so bad. But you need to understand something. You've spent like $3,000 on this marketing channel, roughly, right? Where our numbers aren't broken down perfectly. But you have a deal for $200,000 that didn't close because you didn't do the double closing and put your foot down with that potential partner.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
But that's okay, right? I don't want you to beat yourself up. I don't want you to lose sleep over it because guess what? There's more deals out there just like that, right?
Okay.
Lots of them. And so you need to understand that you need to stay consistent to this process. This process works. It works. So I know that finances are tight and it's rough, right? And it can cause so many things. It can cause stress in a marriage. It can cause stress. Your hair can fall out, right? You can break out like I do, right? You get nasty cold sores. Like you see my YouTube video like 2 weeks ago, I had the nastiest cold sore. So like stress exists, and at every level of success, there's stress, right? But the way we get through that is we push through it, right? It's funny because all throughout my life, I've been an entrepreneur since I was 17 years old. I've only ever taken one job since then, and it was an acquisition manager to get better at negotiating, to be better in my own business, right? And through all of that business experience, I learned one thing. When things get tough, you work harder. When I was running my window cleaning business, I built furniture at night, right? To be able to afford payroll and to pay for marketing. And because my truck broke, I had to fix something, right? I wanted to learn more about real estate investing so I could build a retirement, right? I was willing to work really hard. I just shared a Facebook post from one of my employees. He's actually my driver, right? Miguel. And you've probably seen videos with Miguel. Love Miguel. He's Brazilian. I met him on my mission down in Brazil. And his wife lost her job. And instead of sitting around, she went and found free things on, it's like Utah's Craigslist, right? So she was like driving around and picking up free furniture and then listing it for sale on the same website and making money. In 1 month, she almost made $2,000.
What?
Right?
Yeah.
So there's so much opportunity. So if whatever you have to do to be able to afford your marketing, to get a triple line dialer and to call through all those numbers, work hard, you will be successful. You know what I mean? You've already found some mistakes, right? And you're perfecting your business and you're going to get there. Like just the proof of concept that you've done 2 deals and you have had that mistake on a $200,000 deal, right? That's 5 times the average income for an American in the United States. 5 times, right? I'm trying to help you understand how much potential's there. So I want to challenge you to do something for me, okay? So I know money's tight, but I want you to go out and find a way to generate some revenue to spend more money on marketing. Because what I want you to do is get a triple line dialer and cold call like you're doing, okay, for the numbers that you have. I would increase your calling number to 6 or 7 because I want you to add fewer properties and market to them a little harder.
Okay.
Okay. So set a goal of like 50 properties a week. I want you to cold call them, and whoever you can't get a hold of or whoever you don't have phone numbers for, you still need to get marketing to them, right? So I need you to send postcards.
Okay.
It's kind of expensive, and you're going to have to dig deep and start selling free stuff on Craigslist or whatever it takes, right?
Yeah.
But I had other students, Michael and Zach in Ohio, and they really were struggling with sending postcards. They were in your same position. They're like, We're going to only cold call because it's a lot cheaper and I don't want to spend money. They sent a first round of postcards and they sent it on about the same size list that you have right here. And they pulled their first deal. They made $47,000.
Oh, wow. That's great.
Right? Isn't that
Yeah.
great? So it was worth it, right? But we have to make those sacrifices. We have to give to receive. Okay?
Yep.
All right. Well, I think I've diagnosed the problem. The problem is you're like right at that, just you're almost ready to start, blowing up, and everyone's going to know who Natasha is, and you're going to be the rock star investor in your area, right? But you have you ever seen Pursuit of Happiness?
Yes, I think
With
so.
Will Smith?
Yeah.
It's my by far all-time favorite movie I have ever watched, right?
Yeah.
And I've told people that it's my favorite movie, and they go, "Why? It's so sad." Like, it's not sad. It's inspiring. It's the most inspiring show I've ever watched in my entire life, because he struggles. He's homeless. He's living, in bathrooms with his child, and it's a true story.
Yeah.
The beautiful, like, I'm getting emotional just talk. I cry like a baby every time I watch that show,
Yeah.
because I've been there. I've been homeless.
Mm.
I've lived in my car, right?
Yeah.
But he never stopped. He never stopped. He never gave up. And because he never gave up, he found success, and he found success that most people only ever dream of, right? And that's why this story is so beautiful. So you're so close. Just keep pushing through, make the sacrifices that are necessary. And I promise you, you'll thank me. I promise. And whoever's listening to this that's discouraged and frustrated, this advice is for you as well. So hopefully this helps you. Do you have any more questions for me?
Well, the one I was thinking about asking was that I think it was last week I was on the webinar with David Lecco and the Polites. Okay. And I just asked a question in the chat and they made me come on and ask it, but they were advising that I should go on Deal Machine and pin the absentee owner properties that have been owned for 10 years, but they said I should use the Deal Machine postcard with the block stuff. And then I went into your course again and noticed you said not to do that. So
no, don't. So yes, there are other mentors, right? And you're going to have conflicting information.
Yeah.
I want you to understand something. My students get results, right? I'm very confident in our processes. So if you have any questions on the process of driving for dollars, right? If you don't have it memorized exactly what I want you to do and how to do it, I want you to go back to the modules and watch them again, right? And follow that to a T. I'm okay if you don't send postcards to everyone on that list to save a little bit of money, right? But in cold call, and whoever you can't get a hold of and whoever you don't have phone numbers for, I want you to use the postcards, right? From the postcard company I'm sending you to. I have a new postcard company that I've been negotiating with for months. Pricing is going to come way down from anything Deal Machine has, way down from what I have right now. Plus, you're going to get an emailed list every single week of all of the returned mail. So you can go knock on doors, so you can cold call. So I'm constantly adding value to the situation. So what I need you to do is put blinders on to all the different information, right? Because you're like grasping and you want it so bad. So you're constantly looking for more information, right? But what I need you to do is what I'm teaching you.
Okay.
Right? I'm going to take on the responsibility of your success, but I need you to just follow what I teach you and stay the course. Okay. So you're so close. I mean, you are so close, right? You've done what I've asked you to do, and you have a $200,000 deal on the line right now, right? And you have more probably in that list right there.
Yeah.
Right. So stay the course, do your marketing, and continue to be proactive on the Facebook group and my YouTube channel, but don't go searching out for more information, right? Because then you're going to get conflicting information and you're going to get lost in the noise.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Okay.
All right. Well, This has been incredible. We have a few people on here and I've got like 5 more minutes. So if you guys have a question, go ahead and type it right now. Someone commented that this is amazing, unreal, such good mentorship. Thank you. I appreciate that. I have wonderful students that have taught me so much. I feel blessed. I love this. I absolutely love it. So this is great. So any questions that we have? I don't believe we do. If you jumped in the middle of this, make sure you go back. There was so many gold nuggets from the very beginning to the very end. I hope this inspires so many of you guys to take action and be successful. If you are looking to grow your real estate business, if you're struggling to find deeply discounted properties, that is my main focus as a mentor, is to help my students consistently find properties at a massive discount so they can become successful as real estate investors. So if you want to learn more about their processes and how to get started, go to dfdmastery.com and sign up for my next live webinar or replay, and you can learn more about what I do. And anyways, I hope to see any of you on the other side as a student. I hope to help more people. And Natasha, thank you again so much for being here. If someone wants to reach out to you, are you present on social media? What is the best way to
Every once in a while I check Facebook, but email is better.
Okay. Do you want to share your email?
Sure. Why not?
Okay. You don't have to. They can just reach you through Facebook. You don't have to, but if you'd like to share your contact info, you can.
Yeah. It's Natasha.Turner at Asbury Seminary. So ASBURY Seminary, not cemetery.
Seminary.
.edu.
Beautiful. All right. Well, thank you. Thank you so much for letting us get you out of your comfort zone and deep dive your business. And thank you for sharing, because I know sometimes that can be, a little, scary and somewhat embarrassing, when we're first starting. So thank you. I really do appreciate you letting me,
thank you for taking the time.
this. Yeah, for sure. We have someone on here that wanted to pick my brain. You're here. Awesome. Do you have a question you want to ask? Can you type the question? So I know someone has a question here.
I have a question for you while you're waiting for theirs.
I love it. Let's do it.
If I only have the basic plan of Deal Machine, what are the add-on? Do I need to add any add-ons now? And if so, which ones?
The only add-on you need besides, so the basic plan's about $50, right? And that's why my discount code's awesome, PIN, PIN. That discount code gives you the only upgrade you need, which is the tracking system. The master map tracking software gives it to you for free for 2 months. Normally it's an additional $20 a month. You want to have that because you can see how long you've been driving, how many properties you added per hour, where exactly you drove, right? It tracks your routes and it color coordinates how long ago you drove there. So you need to make sure from the get-go you're doing that, because 6, 7, 8 months down the road or a year down the road, you've tagged your entire market. You want to go to the oldest areas that you haven't driven, right? And you want to remarket to those areas, right?
So I should add that on now?
Yes.
Okay.
Get that. And because you're going to hit start drive before every single drive, because that'll put a tracking on your master map. And then you can you can see that and manage that from your desktop view as well as your phone. So it's needed. So it's in the Driving for Dollars course. You definitely need to refresh on the course, as I can see as well.
Yeah, I saw it was on there, but I just wasn't sure if I should add it straight away or wait till I close that big deal.
Yeah, straight away. And like I said, I know there's some expenses that go along with implementing, and I've done, like I said, like it requires sacrifice. It does, right? But there's so many opportunities in this country to make money. And even with the situation of COVID-19, right? There's always ways to make money, and there's never an excuse not to be successful. It might be painful and require tears, right? But I've been there. All right. So it looks like the questions are coming in. So I'm sorry, what was your name? I'm just saying, I am Bash09. I'm trying to remember your name. I know you told me we were messaging earlier. I get lots of emails and messages. So I know you're here in Utah. So you asked how can you get started? So if you want to join my course, the purchase links kind of change because I do offer discounts and promotions here and there. So if you want to get direct access to my course and just join as a student, I'm going to have to get you a purchase link. We're currently building a website where you can directly purchase it. But I've been so focused on my students, I haven't built a lot of the infrastructure that goes along with the business, right? So just send me an email at zach@dfdmastery.com and request the link to just purchase the course. If you want to know more about my course and like what it teaches and the bonuses to the course, the stuff that Natasha has access to and how, exactly what I do for support for my students, the Facebook group, everything that comes into it. I go into great depth on it during my webinar, and the webinar, the live webinar registration page is dfdmastery.com. So that's how you get started.
That's Zach with a K, right?
ZACK. Thank you, Natasha. Yes. So you said, I live in Salt Lake and I want to drive for dollars with my wife. What do I need in terms of applications? So you're going to need the Deal Machine app. So how about this? Watch my webinar. I think that there's actually a replay of the most recent webinar right now. You can actually go watch it. Sometimes I have it scheduled just to go to my next live, but I'm going to go on vacation for a week to the mountains. And so I don't have a live one scheduled just yet. So you can actually go watch it, dfdmastery.com, watch it with your wife tonight, and that's going to give you everything you need to get started. Yeah, Quinnell. So awesome. Yeah, go watch it. dfdmastery.com. Go watch that live webinar. If you have more questions, shoot me a message on Facebook or an email, and we'll talk either tonight or tomorrow once you've watched that. But we can get you started right away. All right. Well, I'm going to end this. I'm going to go. I promised my wife I would grill up some beautiful steaks and spend some time with them tonight. So thank you so much, Natasha, for being here. And you have a wonderful, wonderful week, and keep me posted on that giant deal. And okay. I'm going to think of something super awesome to send you when you get that deal closed.
Okay.
All right.
Have a great night.
All right. You too. Talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye-bye.